Today, I'm taking a look at The Thing with Feathers from 2025, directed by Dylan Southern and starring Benedict Cumberbatch and David Thewlis. This one's rated R and it's showing in limited theaters. The film is based on Max Porter's novel Grief is a Thing with Feathers, and the title of the book comes from an Emily Dickinson poem, Hope is the Thing with Feathers. If you plan on watching this, the first stanza of the poem is essential reading. It adds a quiet, powerful layer of meaning that the movie never spells out for you. Before I get into this breakdown, I want to clear something up, and it's been bugging me. There's some cute little reviews rolling around calling this one the Beneduke or the Baba Batch. Look, the names are funny, and I get that, but they completely misrepresent what this film is doing. This is not the Babadook. This isn't a creature feature, and this isn't a horror metaphor about parenthood or trauma. If you go in expecting that, you're going to absolutely misunderstand what you're watching. This film is not about being haunted. It's about a family navigating loss and something appearing in their lives that is far more complex than fear. The story is emotional, literary, and deeply human. Told in chapter-like segments, each section gives a voice to different members of this small family. The writing avoids melodrama and instead leans into authenticity, the kind of pain that settles into everyday life rather than exploding in dramatic moments. It's about a father unraveling under the weight of grief, two boys trying to make sense of their world, and the arrival of a presence that can be interpreted many ways depending on how closely you're paying attention. This is a slow, contemplative film. It takes time, and that may challenge some viewers, but grief doesn't move quickly, and neither does healing. This pacing allows emotion to breathe, it allows silence to matter, it allows small gestures to carry weight. Not every scene lands perfectly, but the film earns its rhythm. Cumberbatch gives a remarkable performance as Dad, fragile, exhausted, overwhelmed, and painfully real. He's not always likable, and that's exactly why he's believable. His sons are equally strong, offering different expressions of childhood grief. Confusion, rebellion, longing, and bursts of hope. And then there's Crow. Eric Lampart's physical performance is stunning. His movements are strange, expressive, and unlike anything else on screen this year. David Thewlis shines as the voice of the Crow, the way he speaks almost as if the words are just sliding out of his mouth. It's mesmerizing. The film's tone is emotional, heavy, and introspective. There is no haunting here, just the exhausting reality of grief. The home feels cluttered, not because it's possessed or darkly symbolic, but because Dad is drowning in his responsibilities, and he's not prepared for it. The atmosphere comes from the emotional state of the characters, not from any supernatural influence. The cinematography is dark, literally dark. And while that may frustrate some viewers, it does reinforce the internal struggle these characters are facing. But within that darkness, there are some breathtaking visual moments. Carefully framed shots, symbolic imagery, and small poetic compositions stand out throughout. Crow is an absolute standout. The design is bold, tactile, expressive, and fully embodied. Nothing about him feels digital or weightless. He feels present, and that physical presence matters here. It allows the interpretation of his role to remain grounded rather than fantastical. The soundtrack is gorgeous, emotional, ethereal, and haunting without ever leaning into horror. Several tracks immediately went to my playlist. Songs such as Flirted with You All My Life and I Called You Back are as emotional as this film. The score elevates entire scenes simply by existing under them like a pulse. The film is incredibly original in the way it approaches grief and the need for Crow. Instead of turning a metaphor into a monster, it allows Crow to be something open to interpretation, something that grows deeper if you've read Porter's book or Dickinson's poem. The film doesn't chase genre expectations, it follows emotional truth. This movie hit me hard. As someone who deals with depression, watching this felt both relatable and terrifying. The thought of ever being in this situation is one of my biggest fears. Dad's struggle is painfully realistic, and I worry about how I would deal with it myself. It captures the exhaustion, the frustration, the fear, the tiny moments of connection that keep you going. This isn't a casual watch. This isn't a popcorn movie. But it is a beautifully crafted film that rewards attention, emotional investment, and a willingness to engage with a metaphor. I absolutely recommend it. IMDb has this one at a 6.40 out of 10, and I think it's because it's really kind of misunderstood. For me, it's going to be an 8.5 out of 10. A poetic, emotionally raw exploration of grief, fatherhood, memory, and the quiet forces that enter our lives when we need them the most, whether we recognize them or not. Right or wrong, weak or strong, these are my opinions.